The sun rose over the horizon, casting a warm golden hue across the vast expanse of the Egyptian desert. The air was thick with anticipation as the workers gathered at the base of the Giza plateau, their silhouettes stark against the backdrop of the Great Pyramids that loomed above them. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, the largest of them all, stood as a testament to human ingenuity, ambition, and the sheer will to defy the limits of nature and time. This monumental achievement was not merely a tomb. It was a symbol of the civilization's power, a cosmic alignment, and a connection to the divine. As the workers stretched and prepared for the day, they were a diverse group, drawn from various regions of Egypt. Contrary to the popular misconception that these laborers were slaves, many were skilled craftsmen, farmers who had come to lend their hands during the inundation season when the Nile flooded their fields, and even artisans who sought to leave their mark on history. The construction of the pyramids was a national endeavor, a project that involved thousands of individuals, each playing a critical role in the grand design. The first step in this monumental task was the planning. Architects and engineers, revered for their knowledge of mathematics and astronomy, meticulously designed the pyramids. They understood the significance of the stars and their alignment with the structures they were about to create. The pyramids were not merely tombs, they were gateways to the afterlife, and their orientation was crucial. The four sides of the Great Pyramid were aligned with the cardinal points of the compass, a feat that required an understanding of the Earth's rotation and celestial navigation. They used a simple yet effective technique involving a gnomon, a vertical stick placed in the ground to cast a shadow, allowing them to determine true north with remarkable precision. Once the plans were laid out, the next phase involved the quarrying of limestone blocks. The pyramids were built primarily from locally sourced limestone, with the outer casing made of Tura limestone, known for its fine quality and appearance. Workers, equipped with chisels made of copper and stone, would toil in the quarries, extracting massive blocks that weighed several tons each. The process was labor-intensive, requiring not only strength but also ingenuity. They used wooden sledges to transport the heavy stones, lubricating the sand with water to reduce friction, making it easier to move the massive loads across the desert. As the blocks were transported to the construction site, the organization of labor was paramount. The workforce was divided into teams, each responsible for specific tasks. Some groups focused on quarrying, while others were tasked with transporting the stones, and still others were involved in the actual construction. The foremen, often skilled laborers themselves, oversaw the operations, ensuring that each team worked in harmony and that the stones were placed with precision. Communication was key. They developed a system of calls and responses to coordinate their efforts, a symphony of voices rising above the clatter of tools and the grunts of exertion. The construction of the pyramids was not just about brute force, it was a marvel of engineering. The ancient Egyptians employed various techniques to lift and position the massive stones. One popular theory suggests the use of a ramp system, where a long, straight or zigzagging ramp was built alongside the pyramid. As the pyramid rose, the ramp would be extended, allowing workers to haul stones up to the higher levels. This method required careful calculation and planning, as the angle of the ramp had to be gentle enough to allow for the transport of heavy blocks, but steep enough to facilitate the construction. Another intriguing technique involved the use of levers and counterweights. Workers would insert wooden beams under the stones and use leverage to lift them into position. This method allowed for greater control and precision, enabling the builders to align the stones with the meticulous accuracy that the project demanded. It was a dance of human ingenuity, where each movement was calculated, each decision weighed against the enormity of the task at hand. As the pyramid began to take shape, the workers faced numerous challenges. The scorching sun beat down mercilessly, and the winds swept across the desert, carrying with them grains of sand that stung exposed skin. Yet, despite the harsh conditions, there was a sense of camaraderie among the laborers. They shared stories, sang songs, and celebrated their shared purpose. The construction site became a microcosm of Egyptian society, where individuals from different backgrounds came together, united by a common goal. Food and sustenance were crucial to maintaining the morale and strength of the workers. The state organized the distribution of rations, providing bread, beer, and onions to the laborers. Beer, in particular, was a staple, not only for its nutritional value, but also for its role in social bonding. The workers would gather at the end of the day, sharing their meals and recounting their accomplishments. Each block laid a testament to their hard work. As the pyramid rose higher, so did the complexity of the construction. The inner chambers, designed to house the pharaoh's remains and the treasures he would need in the afterlife, required intricate planning. The builders constructed a series of passageways and chambers, some of which were hidden to thwart potential robbers. The use of cobalt ceilings, where stones were stacked in a manner that allowed them to support the weight above, showcased the architectural prowess of the ancient Egyptians. These chambers were adorned with hieroglyphs and carvings that told the story of the pharaoh's reign, his divine connections, and his journey to the afterlife. As the years passed and the pyramid neared completion, the workers felt a sense of pride in their monumental achievement. The Great Pyramid of Khufu was not just a structure of stone. It was a symbol of their labor, their creativity, and their devotion to their pharaoh. The construction site buzzed with excitement as the final blocks were set into place and the last touches were added to the outer casing. The sight of the completed pyramid gleaming in the sun was nothing short of breathtaking. It stood as a beacon of human achievement, a reflection of the civilization's values and beliefs. But the construction of the pyramids was not merely an isolated event. It was part of a larger narrative of Egyptian culture, religion, and governance. The pyramids were built during a time when the pharaoh was considered a god on earth, a divine ruler whose authority was absolute. The act of building these monumental structures was an expression of the pharaoh's power, a way to ensure his legacy and secure his place among the gods in the afterlife. The workers, in their dedication and labor, became part of that legacy, their names and stories intertwined with the fate of the pyramids. As the sun set on the horizon, casting long shadows across the desert, the workers gathered one last time to admire their creation. The Great Pyramid, now complete, towered over them, a monumental achievement that would stand for millennia. They understood that they were part of something greater, a legacy that would endure long after their time. The pyramids were not just tombs. They were a testament to the human spirit, a celebration of what could be achieved when minds and hands worked together in harmony. In the years that followed, the pyramids would become a source of fascination and wonder for generations to come. They would inspire stories, myths, and legends, each one adding to the mystique of these ancient structures. The ingenuity, labor, and determination that went into their construction would be revered, studied, and admired by scholars and dreamers alike. The pyramids would stand as a reminder of what humanity could accomplish, a beacon of creativity and perseverance that transcended time and space. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, the workers, now weary but fulfilled, looked up at the Great Pyramid, their hearts swelling with pride. They had not just built a tomb, they had created a monument to the human experience, a legacy that would echo through the ages. In that moment, they understood that they were part of history, and their efforts would be remembered long after the sands of time had settled over the desert. The pyramids were more than stone and mortar. They were a reflection of the human spirit, an enduring symbol of what could be achieved when vision met determination.